Good afternoon. How are we all? Especially you, Ryan. Thank you very much for you dropped the first comment of this channel, so you are a legend. Thank you very much. So today we're talking about Plan Bs. Now, I am someone who wouldn't be here if I had a Plan B. Now, I think Plan Bs, they allow for easy exits, right? Would you try your best with Plan A if you have a Plan B? I think for a lot of people, we know the answer to that already, don't we? It's the brain is very good at finding the path of least resistance, and it will navigate towards that if you allow it. But if you think, okay, well, I'm just gonna have a plan A, all of a sudden your focus and your commitment all increase. And these are some of the crucial aspects that are required for you to go off and achieve anything. Focus and commitment. So I'd really recommend that I'd really recommend that having a plan B is not. People think it's sensible, oh, I'll have something to fall back on. Don't fall backwards, fall forwards and get better at plan A. That's the reality. So I've got two little stories. I think so. Firstly, we'll talk about myself. So I'm a tech startup founder. I'm building a product for personal trainers. I myself am also training to be a personal trainer at the moment. And I really wouldn't be here if Plan Bs had even entered my mind. It's taken me so long to get to where I am, and for many people they would have given in, and probably it was the sensible thing to do. But I'm actually now, strangely enough, at something of a turning point for my business, and I just know that I simply if I thought, okay, cool, I could just go off into the city and work a normal job and do this and do that. Now, for me personally, I'm someone who I wouldn't be able to really live with myself if I didn't try and do something extraordinary, such as start your own tech startup. That I just wouldn't be able to wake up, and I'd probably be happier than I am now, but I'd always have that itch back of my throat. So for me personally, it was plan A or no plan at all. But if I did have a plan B, I just know that I wouldn't be here because of what it's taken for me to get to where I am. And for many people, you have to stay in the game long enough for luck to be able to find you. So I think if you think, oh, if you give up after even a couple of hiccups and a couple of issues, and you think, oh, I've probably got further than most people would have. I'm like, yeah, sure, but have you really gone through the necessities that are required for that fortunate person to come into your life, or for you to be able to strike that deal, or whatever it may be? The other story I would say is, so there's something called psychological death ground, and this is a fascinating topic and something which I love. And obviously it sounds completely bonkers, doesn't it? Psychological death ground. But what it is where generals would place some of their troops, usually the slave troops, usually not their own ones, usually the ones which they captured. We'll put that to one side because the principle still stands. They put some of their troops in deliberately compromised positions on the battlefield. And the reason is that if these troops didn't have an advantage which enabled them to be a bit lazy, so they had no choice other than to fight their absolute hardest in order to survive. And obviously survival is the key fundamental thread which runs through myself, yourself, everyone. We're all trying to survive for as long as possible. And if they didn't have that option, then maybe they would die. Maybe they would just not fight as hard. Maybe their army wouldn't win the battle. But what you can absolutely guarantee, is that they are going to fight their hardest. And so I think we have to sometimes put ourselves in a position where we have no choice but to fight our hardest. Now, that's not to say, as a personal trainer, you should just go off tomorrow and quit your job and, just hope for the best and buy some lottery tickets and whatever. There needs to be a strategy behind these things, of course. And so I think there's some key takeaways that I'd love to be able to provide you with. So firstly, you've got to find your leverage. Now, if you have been a coach for a little while, then actually, well, if you're brand new to coaching, then what I'd recommend is you go off and work, do 100 sessions for free. And then within that, you'll find this data. But let's just use someone who has been a coach for a little while. And you notice that you consistently get messages and DMs and likes and comments and clients of a particular kind. So maybe we could use the example of women who are anxious about joining the gym. The gym's a scary place. It's full of testosterone. It's full of blokes moving shit around, and as a woman, it could be well, as anyone, it could be intimidating. But let's just say you've particularly zoomed in on the fact that it's women coming to you, women respecting you, whatever it may be. Now, what you should then do is you should align absolutely everything with that, and you should move all your other stuff out of the way. So all the other stuff is the plan B, because maybe at the moment you think, okay, well, I'm servicing this niche, but also I'm servicing the niche of young men wanting to join the gym and trying to look after old people's mobility and trying to do this thing and trying to do that thing. And all of these things are effectively holding you back. Because by doubling down, by focusing, you become known for something that people actually want. This is you doing plan A. All those other things are effectively plan B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on and so forth. And you commit to that. So you have your one-liner, you make your content, you make your offers all around this exact thing. And what you'll notice is that rather than saying no to lots of opportunities, you're actually saying yes to the one that keeps calling you. You're saying yes to the one that you can become known for. That when someone types into Google or to ChatGPT or to YouTube, I need to find a personal trainer for this particular purpose, guess who pops up? You. Versus you trying to service all these other people, and you're just in that quagmire of everyone else, and you just don't stand out. And so this is the real advantage of not having a plan B, is that you end up doubling down, you end up focusing, you end up saying no to a lot of things, and it just gives you this precise mechanism for you to go off and achieve your goal. And then lastly, I would say commit to this for at least 12 months. So I mentioned earlier, you've got to do something for long enough for luck to find you. And I would say 12 months at a minimum. It depends how lively you are as a person. If you're always out there networking, speaking to people, that's great. Maybe there's more opportunities for you there. But lots of people work from home these days. Lots of people are kind of in here, there, and everywhere. I'm one of them. Give it a minimum of 12 months. A minimum of 12 months, and don't question it. Just think. Find your specific thing. Recognize the fact that you're going to have to say no to lots of other plans and and solutions to fall back on, and be like, no, I'm committing to this, and this is going to be the one which takes me to where it is I'm trying to get to. So that's it for this video. Double thumbs up. Thank you very much. I hope more of you will tune in. Ryan, I'm counting on you to comment again. It'd be fantastic if you did. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. If you've got any questions, let me know. I do these videos completely unscripted. I've got a few notes here, but other than that, so I'm still warming up. I'm still learning to speak, learning to walk by learning to stumble. So I'll leave it there, and I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.